Hi, welcome to this video. It's a bit later than planned, but this is about my results for W340, which is Law, Society and Culture with the Open University. It's a 30 credit module, which I'm doing alongside, or did alongside, W330 EU Law this year. It's a shorter module, so the EMA final assignment was due at the middle of March, 10th of March. And then the results were in the middle of April, well, near the end of April. So it's a bit later than planned, but I mentioned in previous video that this year both of these modules results are important as they will determine what classification I get at the end. Because last year I did W302, which was the land law, equity and trusts as well. And I got a pass 2, which is equivalent to a 2-1 on that. So to get a first overall, I would need to get a distinction in both of these modules this year. And for W340, it wasn't looking so good. So the first TMA I did, I think it was worth about 20%. It was worth less than TMA 2. Anyway, I think it was about 20% of the weighting, and I got 68%, which is equivalent to a pass 3 or a 2-2. So not great, and that's the worst score I've actually got in the whole degree. So at that point I thought, oh well, never going to get that distinction, so that's that, so leave it, just be happy, work towards your 2-1. And then the TMA 2, which was worth 30%, ended up getting 85%. So I was like, oh, okay, kind of throwing a spanner in the works there. So the EMA, the end of module assignment, is worth 50% of the whole module mark. So it worked out that to guarantee a distinction, I would need to get 90% or around 91% on the EMA. And I thought that's a bit tough going. It's probably not going to happen. But with, I think I mentioned previously, with the Open University at the for the module grades, what they can do is change the boundaries of the grading. So normally it's 85% for a distinction, 70% for a pass 2, but they can reduce these. So like previous years I've seen 81% be a distinction and also like 67% be a pass 2. I'm not in the module results panel, so I don't know why they do that, but it's, from what I've been told, it can be anywhere from there being ambiguities in the questions. So for example, if when they're doing the module results and the panel meet together, they notice that a lot of students got a lot lower marks on one specific TMA and did better on the rest, they'll look at that TMA and be like, is there any ambiguity in the question, or is, you know, the advice given incorrect or whatever? And if they find there's some reason why students have scored lower in a particular assignment or scored lower generally, they'll reduce the boundary by a couple of percent to make up for that. So with that in mind, I had also planning, like, what would I need to get if I got, for example, 82%, what would I need to get in the EMA? So it turns out I would need to get 85% in the EMA. So I was like, well, I got 85% in TMA 2, so that's more possible, that's more realistic, still a push, but it's doable. So anyway, got the results, and so I don't know how, but I managed to get the 85% in the EMA, which meant I got 82% overall. But because they lowered the grade boundary, that meant it was a distinction. So I'm still on track for a first, but it all now comes down to W330 EU law. And it's all going to come down to the EMA, which I submitted yesterday. Yesterday was the due date. And now it's just a long old 2 months worth of waiting. Well, it's about 56 days. Sometime near the middle to end of July. I think it's the 19th, 20th of July. It's around there. I haven't looked properly. But so far, I'm more positive about EU law. For some reason, it's turned out to be one of my better scored modules. So there was 2 TMAs, 2 ICMAs, all worth 50% in total, and then the EMA was worth 50%. The ICMAs were worth 5% each. They're like online computer assignments, and I got 100% in one, 90% in the other. Then TMA 1, I think, was worth 15%, and I got 87% in that, and then TMA2 I think was, what's that, 25%, and I got 90% in that. I don't know where that came from. No idea. I thought my results would be worse this year because my tutor for EU law is a professor. So you think, oh, well, they're going to be really harsh. But yeah, so my overall average score so far for the EU law is 90%. So considering that's weighted 50% of my total module result, I'm at 45% for the module result now. So in one way that's good because I've already passed the module. The requirements on this particular module were you get at least 40% overall and you submit the EMA. Some modules differ. Some modules want you to get at least 40% on the EMA as well, or at least 30% on the EMA and 40% overall. It can change between modules. So if you are on a module, whatever you're studying, it's worth checking your module guide for those requirements. But for me, for this EU law one, it was get at least 40% overall and submit the EMA. So I've submitted, I've got at least 45% now. So whatever happens, I'm getting a 2-1. So that is amazing. But because that first is just there, it's just there, I kind of really want it. And I will be disappointed if I don't get it, but I've still got to be immensely proud of what I have achieved. You know, I've been working full-time throughout. I bought a house, I've had death in my family, and still carried on. So I've worked out that to guarantee 85% in EU law, I need to get at least 79% in EMA, which, you know, is doable. That's a lot doable, especially considering the grades I've already had. But also, if they lower the grade boundaries, so say they lower it to 82%, like the other module I did, I'd only need to get 73% in the EMA, which makes me feel a lot better. However, the EMA for EU law was horrific. Like, it was just... A lot of people said on the Facebook groups, quite poorly written, and in some parts of that I would agree. You know, it was... So part 1 was worth 60% of the mark, and it was a problem question with 6 different parts. And these parts included free movement of goods, free movement of persons, and then the rest was all competition law. But the competition law one was just really random. Like, I don't know if you study law and you've got the Law Express books or the Concentrate books and you get the Q&A books and you see some of the question and answers in there, you think, you know, it's quite straightforward. It's giving you the facts and it's quite easy to ascertain what you need to do. This one is just throwing facts left, right and centre. And then at the end of this massive paragraph, like, advise them on competition law. You're like, well, where do I start? Like, so while I only probably need about 73 to 75% to get that distinction, I am worried a little bit. I've done my best, you know, I've put every effort into it. I think I've put a lot of cases in there which are useful. I think I've picked up on things that maybe weren't in the module materials, but through extra reading have helped me kind of get an edge on the assignment. But at the same time, it's going to be a long waiting game. So that was it. That's my results for 340 and what I'm now waiting for 330. I'll do a video for the results when they come out in July. The next video I want to do is talking about my experience with the University of Central Lancashire studying astronomy, doing their certificate in astronomy. I'm not carrying on with their BSc, but that's for other reasons. But I do want to do a video because I have enjoyed the course and I think it is really good. There's pros and cons that I've seen to it, but that'll be the next video I do in a little bit. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again next time.